coming to Indonesia and you're not sure how much it's going to cost, make sure you check out the rest of this video for a detailed description.
Total, when you put all of those costs together, our total costs in Indonesia. What's up everybody, it's Max and Kim. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be covering our travel costs throughout Indonesia.
For the last 40 days we have been in Indonesia. We did travel a lot. We went from Bali to Gili, did the Komodo trip all the way to East Nusa Tenggara, Komodo, back to Bali for our visas, and then finally over to Java. So if you are planning on just staying in one spot or only going to a couple of these places, you will save a lot of travel costs.
We've split the total costs up into 8 categories. Those 8 categories are accommodation, transport, food, dining out and alcohol. We've merged all into one. Our activities, shopping, amenities, phone plan, internet and data. All the prices here are in Australian dollars. So whatever currency you guys are using, just convert Australian dollars into your currency and that'll give you a general guide. So we'll quickly cover through what each category cost us, and then at the very end we'll go through the total costs and how much that was per day as well. Our accommodation costs over the 40 days came to $607.10. Over 40 days that averages out at $15.10 Australian per day. We're quite happy with this because each place that we stayed in was a private room. We weren't backpacking, and we actually managed to get most of these places with breakfast as well.
There were a couple that didn't have breakfast, and we did find that a bit more difficult because you do have to go out every morning. So if you can get breakfast included, it's worth those extra couple of dollars. And
so this does range a little bit. So on the lower end, we had places with no aircon, no breakfast, and then some places you would find, instead of a normal westernized toilet, you would have a hole in the ground.
Well, it's not just a hole. You have, just imagine a toilet
sunken into the ground.
Yeah.
Some days we had places that would average out at $11 a night, and the upper end would probably be $24 to $25 a night. So next up we had transport. So our total transport costs over 40 days in Indonesia came to $550 Australian and 50 cents. This includes not only renting scooters, there's anything from Gojeks to catching ferries to catching trains. We did a lot of intercity travel on trains and a lot of travel on ferries and buses.
Yeah.
We went from Labuan Bajo all the way in Flores all the way to Bali by boat and ferry. So that in itself was about $100 Australian. The train rides to go between, Yogyakarta and Malang, that was $50 combined for both of us. And to go from Yogyakarta back to Surabaya was another $50.
So if you're planning on staying in one place for longer, it's going to be a lot cheaper.
Obviously you do get the really cheap costs, like renting a scooter was $5 a day, in Canggu was $7 a day. Most of our Airbnb hosts actually lent us their scooters in Java because the hospitality in Java is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eddie.
And Lydia.
And Lydia. So our next category is our food, dining out and alcohol. So that includes everything from when we didn't have breakfast included, going out for lunch, dinner, which is pretty much what you do every day.
All the groceries from Indomart is covered in this cost as well.
If you haven't checked out our Indomart video, links up there.
It'll be somewhere in one of these corners.
For this category, our total cost was $651 over the 40 days, and that averages to $16.30 a day, which for 2 people really isn't a lot.
So if you divide that by 2, it's $8.15 per person per day for food.
We pretty much had nasi goreng every day. We did occasionally splash out and get some pizzas.
You'll find that food is a lot more expensive in the touristy areas of Bali, Lombok and Gili, whereas in Java and Flores it was quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Now we're not here to preach to you to say that it's really easy to find cheap food in Indonesia, because if you don't look for it, you can easily blow that budget and spend 3 to 4 times that amount. You do have to look for those places, but if you're willing to look, they do exist. In Canggu, we were having meals for 15,000 rupiah, which is $1.50 Australian.
Yeah.
That was the same throughout Bali and Lombok and Gili as well.
Yeah.
In Java, the prices are actually cheaper. We were getting 8,000, 7,000, 5,000, which is 80 cents, 70 cents, and 50 cents Australian for a meal. So it does get cheaper the further away from the touristy areas you go.
But if you're here for a short amount of time and you're here to just eat the food, it is super delicious and it would be worth paying more. The next category we're going to cover is the activities, and that is our absolute favourite. As you can see through the videos that we make, there's a couple of food ones, but our passion is the activities and exploring what the countries have to offer. The cost over the 40 days was $1,018.60. That is almost our accommodation and transport put together, and the average over the 40 days there is $25.50, which again split between the two of us, $12.75 each.
Pretty good when you think about it that way.
Really good.
This did range as well, so you had very expensive activities and you had very cheap activities as well.
So this price does include the Komodo trip,
Amazing trip.
which was $480 for the both of us, so that's almost half of our activity costs is just that trip. We do highly recommend it. It was absolutely amazing, but it did skyrocket our activities budget.
And our transport costs because we had to get back.
This also includes doing Kawa Ijen and Mount Bromo. Ijen was $70 for the both of us and Bromo was $80 for the both of us. So be prepared for that, but still do them when else you're going to get the chance. We also went to Waterbomb Bali, which was a last minute decision, but we were so stoked with it, and that came to $91.
That was a big cost.
And we didn't regret it. If you haven't been or if you haven't seen it, click that link. Check it out. We did Prambanan and Borobudur temples in Java and Yogyakarta. These were $63 each, so that came to a combined cost of $126.
So you have those really expensive activities, but then you can also contrast that with the cheap activities as well. We went on a whale shark trip.
What in the world?
For $1.50 Australian.
We actually went twice.
Yeah, because it was so cheap, why not go twice? We should have gone 20 times. Other things that you can do for cheap, surfing costs between $5 and $10 to go for a surf, where you can rent a board for 2 hours or 2 days. We got 2 boards for 2 days for $20. The Tamansari water castle that we went to was $3 each Australian to get in, and that was breathtaking. Underground mosque, the scenery is amazing. So the cheap activities are here if you're willing to look.
If you guys like, comment below. We can make a cheap activity guide or a video of everything that we did and how much it would cost you to do all of them.
That's a great idea. If you want that, tell us. That brings us to the next and Kim's favorite category.
Shopping! I absolutely love shopping. I really want to buy everything I see. Unfortunately, I have a backpack that I also need to carry myself. There's so much to buy in Indonesia, so if you're only here for a limited amount of time, leave about 5 to 10 kgs in your bag for some shopping, because that's what I do. Our shopping total for the 40 days was $68.
We did buy a few bags. We bought some shoes. I got some jandals, a bag to hold all the camera gear. Kim got a bag.
I got a shirt from Jogja.
This watch was $6. So the next category is amenities. So for this one, we've just put in things like general pharmacy items and our washing. The things from the pharmacy that we got was mainly like zinc, after sun gel when we got too sunburnt. Other things like washing. It did range a lot. So in the small island of Gili T, it was $2.50 Australian per kg.
Which we thought was really good, but that is super expensive.
That ranged all the way down to 30 cents per kg in Yogyakarta, Java. So it does vary a lot depending on the places that you go, but the washing is generally very cheap. That total value came to $35 over the 40 days, which is not bad.
Our last category that we're going to cover in this video is our phone. So we both have our phones, but we decided to only get one SIM card because we can just hotspot each other, and you do pay more for the actual SIM card than for the data on it. And for us, that was only $23 for the whole 40 days. We mostly just used the Wi-Fi around the restaurants and at our accommodation, and didn't really need anything extra other than that. We mainly bought the data so that we could upload vlogs.
To get 30 gigabytes of data, so that was 15 gigs for your for anything on the internet, and for 15 gigs of YouTube, that cost $13 Australian. So it is very cheap here and very affordable.
Again, that was more expensive on Gili, so make sure you get it in the bigger places. It's going to be cheaper.
So that's all our travel costs for Indonesia over 40 days. We hope this information was really helpful for you and will help you plan your trip to Indonesia in the future. Gives you a bit of an idea of what you can expect to pay. The other activity that we forgot to mention was our visas. The total cost for both of us to get our visas was $308. So in total, when you put all of those costs together, our total costs in Indonesia for 40 days came to $3,261.20. So per day, if you average that out over the 40 days, it comes to $81.50 per day, and that was for 2 people, which we think is really good considering what we did, where we went, and what we were able to do. Alright guys, that is the vlog. If you haven't already, smack that subscribe button in the face. If you made it this far in the video and you haven't subscribed, are you good, bro?
What are you doing?
Other than that, stay safe. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
This market is never ending. It just keeps going and going and going. And then you think...
It's the same as all the other markets. It's all, like, everyone sells the same thing for the same price. But we haven't tried to barter, so I'm not sure. But everything's so cheap anyway. I don't know if you'd need to.